Hello everyone, welcome back. This is video number 2 of the Law of One series. In this video we'll be discussing the nature of the one infinite creator and the one infinite creation, as well as what Ra terms the first 3 distortions of the Law of One. So the basic kind of guiding principles of the Law of One. In the first video we briefly went over the core tenets, the basic principles of the Law of One, the philosophy. We went over briefly the Ra contact itself, how this information came through, the people involved. And we also went over briefly Ra's history on Earth and the nature of Ra, right? Being a 6th density social memory complex who came to Earth to aid humanity in their evolution. So these are meant to be watched in sequential order, so if you haven't watched the first video, please go do so now, and this will make more sense. Unless of course you already know about the Law of One and you're just looking for some kind of different perspective than the one you already hold. Good. Okay, so the nature of the one infinite creator and the one infinite creation. We already talked about the basic principles of the Law of One. Law of One state that everything is one thing, right? That there is only identity, and this identity is the infinite creator, infinite creation, which we are a part of, right? That energy, that vibration that created all that we can see and everything that we are unable to see dwells inside of us. So we're going to go all the way back to the beginning of evolution, the beginning of the creation, and we'll go right into some quotes, question and answers from between Don and Ra. Good. So Don asks, session 13, question number 5. Can you tell me of the earliest first known thing in the creation? Ra says, I am Ra. The first known thing in the creation is infinity. The infinity is creation. From this infinity, then, must have come what we experience as creation. What was the next step, or the next evolvement? I am Ra. Infinity became aware. This was the next step. After this, what happened? Awareness led to the focus of infinity into infinite energy. You can call this by various vibrational sound complexes. That's the long, complicated term that Ra uses for name. Vibrational sound complex. The most common to your ears being logos, or love. The creator is the focusing of infinity as an aware or conscious principle, called by us as closely as we can create understanding learning in your language, intelligent infinity. Okay, so we'll break this down here. So we have the first known thing that Ra tells us is infinity. This is the first known thing that we have, the whole, complete, macrocosmic, total being, the one. Yeah. And then this infinity becomes aware, right? And this awareness leads to the focusing of energy, which we call the logos, or love. Right, logos is often termed the word, like in the Christian Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So originally it said in the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God, and the Logos was God. So this Logos is the vibrational quality, the creative principle of the infinite. It becomes aware, and then it begins to focus its energy, and the focusing of this energy begins to create. Right. So we have that. And Don says, can you state the next step? Ra says, the next step is still at this space-time nexus in your illusion achieving its progression, as you may see it in your illusion. The next step is an infinite reaction to the creative principle, following the Law of One in one of its primal distortions, freedom of will. Thus, many, many dimensions, infinite in number, are possible. So this is the result of the creator becoming aware. It has the freedom of awareness, right? So it became aware, and the freedom of its awareness allows it to think about whatever it wants. And Ra calls this the one original thought. So the one original thought is the energy that then goes to create what we know of as the physical universes. Right, this is sort of complex, but it will make more sense because we're about to go through the 3 distortions in a little more detail. And this is from right after that, session 13, question and answer 12. Don asks, could you tell me how intelligent infinity became individualized from itself? Ra says, this is an appropriate question. The intelligent infinity discerned a concept. This concept was discerned due to freedom of will of awareness. This concept was finity. This was the first and primal paradox or distortion of the law of one. Thus the one intelligent infinity invested itself in an exploration of many-ness. Due to the infinite possibilities of intelligent infinity, there is no ending to many-ness. The exploration, then, is free to continue infinitely in an eternal present. So this is the first distortion of the law of one, free will. The infinite creator had freedom of will, of thought. It could think about whatever it wanted, and it could move in any way that it chose to move, right? So from this level, this availability of awareness, the infinite discern the idea of finiteness, right? Something that has a beginning and an end, something that is mortal, right? So it wanted to know itself more deeply, and so it split itself apart into an infinite number of parts. And so now the creator, from our perspective, is simply watching and enjoying what it sees of itself as it learns about itself and as it grows and as it progresses. So you can think of the one infinite creator as experiencing itself through you right now. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever experienced, the creator has learned more about itself through you in a unique way that is not possible with any other soul or any other person on this planet, and there never will be another person that has the same exact experience and the same reactions or responses that you do. So this is the snowflake analogy, right? Every snowflake is different, and this is very true. And I remember when I heard this for the first time, I was like, wow, this whole thing was me activating and being awakened. But I thought, wow, that feels right to me. Like, okay, the infinite is experiencing itself through me, and it wants me to enjoy life. It wants me to enjoy this experience. The creator will learn next. The essence of the creator is love, and so when we are full of love, then the creator, I feel like it enjoys that a little bit more than our despair and our complaining and our sadness and our depression and our woe is me victimization that we sometimes like to dig ourselves into. Yeah. Okay, so we have the first distortion, free will. And let's define distortion really quick, because I think normally we think of distortion as something negative, right? Like when music distorts, then it sounds really kind of garbled and not so pleasant to the ears. When a video you're watching on YouTube starts to distort, you can't see it and it's annoying. And so we usually have a negative connotation around the word distortion. Ra uses the term distortion as anything that has been separated or come out of the infinite, right? So the infinite is undistorted. It's complete, it's whole, it's perfect. It's there. Anything that comes out of that infinity is a distortion of the infinite, right? So this is why they call the first distortion free will. Good. Let's see if I have anything else to make here. Oh yeah, this is a little quote from another one of the Confederation beings about this concept of free will. So, why did the Creator choose to make creations? Our comment has often tended to be that the Creator is attempting to gain knowledge and appreciation of itself. The Creator wishes to know itself. Thusly, it sends forth parts of itself with an illusion to see what will happen, and to learn from the colors created in the palette of emotions that you have created through many experiences and incarnations. This palette contains your beauty and is unique to you, so that you can teach the Creator that which no one else in all of creation is able to teach. For you are the only one of you in all of the infinite universe. Thusly, it is your gift to the Creator that comes from you that is greatly desired. You cannot please the Creator by being someone else, but only by being most true and deeply yourself. So, the concept of free will has a great role to play in the spiritual seeking that we do as humans. We are free to seek and to move in any way that we want as humans. But when we seek to know our true selves, and we start to seek to understand who we are and what we are and where we've come from, we're mimicking the kind of desire of the Creator to know itself. We're only here because the Creator wanted to know itself. Now that we're here, if we intend and create a life and create a focus about knowing ourselves, then that becomes a gift to the Creator, because then we're learning about who and what we are, and we'll move naturally towards a state of being ourselves, right, and away from the societal expectations, the cultural expectations, the familial expectations of who we have to be. We've all been told that we have to be certain ways and we have to do certain things, and if we check all these boxes that have been decided for us by other people, then we'll be happy. And I think my generation especially, and those even younger than me, are realizing that there's nothing in that, right? Like I remember being around adults when I was a kid, and them saying, you should do this and you should do that, and like this would be good for you, and why don't you do this? You have to go do that. Da 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 da. Whether it was my parents or any other adult, and deep down, I knew that they weren't necessarily truly happy people. So I would think, why would I do what you're telling me to do if much of the time you don't seem to be happy, or you seem to be rather lost and confused. So this is the journey to seek for the heart of ourselves, and that is one of free will, right? And we're also free to totally ignore the creation. We're totally free to ignore these concepts. We're free to ignore each other. We're free to ignore ourselves, and that is the gift of the Creator. Even if we do that, even if we choose not to know ourselves, even if we choose to just sit in our room and shut the blinds and play, I don't know, what do kids play? Fortnite or something all day, every day. That's okay. That's still a gift to the Creator, because that experience that you're providing is still absolutely unique in the time-space continuum. It's never existed before, and it will never exist again. So that's still unique. However, true joy comes from deciding to use our free will to seek ourselves and to know ourselves the way the Creator did originally. Good. So first distortion of the law of one, free will. We'll go on to the second distortion, which is the logos, or love, the love principle. So the second distortion, love, comes from free will, and it's the focusing energy of the one infinite Creator, right? It's the creative principle. Here's some quotes that will give a better understanding. Session 27, question 12, Don asks, I would like for you to define love in the sense of the second distortion. Ra says, I am Ra. This must be defined against the background of intelligent infinity, or unity, or the one Creator, with the primal distortion of free will. The term love then may be seen as the focus, the choice of attack, the type of energy of an extremely high order, which causes intelligent energy to be formed from the potential of intelligent infinity in such and such a way. Right? So love is this energy that starts to generate and create itself. It starts to be created by the focusing of the attention of the infinite. Right? Ross says in the next answer, the second distortion, love, is the great activator and primal co-creator of various creations using intelligent infinity. Love comes into light in the sense of the activity of unity in its free will. Love uses light and has the power to direct light in its distortions. And we'll learn about light next. It's the third distortion. Light is the third distortion. So love is the creative principle of the infinite and is its essential nature. We have to remember that. So the essential nature of the logos, of the Creator, is unconditional love. So we as humans, along with everything that we can see and everything that we cannot see, are physical manifestations of this unconditional love, infinite love. So here's a quote from Kuo that very nicely mentions this. You are a spark of the one great original thought of the infinite Creator. Say that the Creator, in its infinity, in its impossibility of being described, is a vibration. You have that original vibration, which is unconditional love, as the basis of every cell of your being. So this is a big part of the journey, right? To find this love inside of us. So this is not the love that humans know. This is not the love that we normally refer to, right? Like we love pizza, or like we love our car, or we love the beach, or we love our dog, or we love music, right? Or something like that. Or even romantic love, like I love you, right? Well, like maybe it's real and maybe it's not. Like you don't really know. So this is much different. So when we start to consider the love, that what kind of love it was that created the universes, then we're starting to contemplate the love that the Creator has as its very nature. And of course, as we're part of the infinite creation, we're sparks that have been kind of thrown out from the infinite so that the Creator can know itself. We have that unconditional love inside of us. Every single cell of our being has this vibration in it. So this is a very beautiful concept, and it gave me much happiness when I first read it. All right, let's see here. The big part of the journey on earth is to find this love inside of ourselves. We are taught to look for this love outside, right? We're taught to look for it in other people. We're taught to look for it in money. We're taught to look for it in the way we look, in the kind of ideas of success that society has deemed are the right concepts. So like if I have a good job, if I have a beautiful wife, if I have a nice car, if I have a nice house, if I have then I'll be good, I'll be happy, right? So we're taught continuously from the time we're babies that happiness is outside of you, right? What you're looking for is outside, right? So very, very, very few of us have been taught that the love that we need to find first exists inside of us, and this is the love that is talked about in that sense. We need to find that vibration of the infinite, that vibration of unconditional love that is the basis for all manifestation, all physical creations inside of us first. Then from that knowing, we can carry that knowing into the physical world, and we can be a prayer to the world. We can be a blessing to this planet because we're carrying a vibration that is very healing. And when other people are around that kind of energy, they have the opportunity to heal. And the planet is healed by the very presence of people who are discerning these concepts and who are attempting to utilize them in their day-to-day life. Good. Okay, so then we'll go into light. Now this is from the love, from the logos comes light, and this is the third distortion. So this is the very first thing physically created, right? So the first distortion, free will, is just a concept, it's just an idea. The second distortion, love, is still nothing has yet been created. The potentials are building. The ideas, the concepts for what will be created are being generated, and they're growing, and they're kind of fructifying, right? So at the third distortion, light, things are starting to be created, and light is the basic kind of energy that we can see. Everything, all things are made of energy, and that energy is reducible basically to light. So Dewey Larson came up with a theory called reciprocal theory, and in his equation, what quantum physicists call vibration, he calls velocity, right? So he's saying that the universe is constantly in motion, right? And there are two concepts, the concept of what Ra calls space-time, and then the other concept called time-space. So space-time, it refers to the physical creation, what we can see, that which is concrete and solid. And in order to do that, there's like a subtle, there's a mismatch in the velocity, the vibration between space and time that favors space. And for time-space, which is the unseen realms, what we would call the inner planes, or the spirit world, or the subconscious mind, the metaphysical planes, the unseen, that is created by a subtle mismatch between time and space that favors time. So this is, this is more scientific and more complex, but I think the main thing we need to know and understand is that everything around us is light. Light vibrates at different frequencies. Our eye is just reflecting the vibrational nature of what we see back to us, and it creates what we're able to perceive, right? So everything is vibration, everything is thought, everything is generated from this light concept, right? Right. So the natural process of creation on the part of the logos, when it chooses to know itself, it uses light in order to do that, right? So everything that we see is light, which means we're made of light. So how bright is the light inside of us, right? How dim or how bright is the light within the cells inside of us? And I think that's one way of thinking about it and saying, okay, well, the dimmer the light is, the less happy and the less complete I will feel. And the brighter the light is, the more I will understand about myself, the more I will understand about the nature of the creation, and the more I'll have the energy to seek further and further, right? Okay, so these are the first three distortions, right? We have free will. From free will comes love, which is the focusing of the energy from the freedom of will. And then we have light. Love uses light to create itself and to create the physical universes that the one infinite creator then experiences through each unique individualized portion of consciousness. Okay, so I think that's good for this video. In the next video, we will discuss the 7 densities that are created out of this process of the first 3 distortions. We'll talk about we'll talk about the consciousness as it relates to each of the 7 densities, and then we will also go in depth about our transition from 3rd density into the 4th density that is happening right now. It's rapidly approaching on the planet. The reason for giving all of this information about the first 3 distortions and the 7 densities, and we'll also go into the 2 paths, the choice we have to make as humans, is because it gives context to why we would want to do the healing exercises, right? If we're just doing healing exercises, or if we're just doing something, if we're just doing anything and we don't know why, there's no point. So we have to have a target to aim at. If we don't know what we're aiming at, then we're never going to be able to hit it, right? So my desire, my intention is to give as good an overview as possible that allows us to have some kind of context, or will allow one to have a clear intention of why they are working through the exercises, why they are doing these meditations, or why they're doing or practicing these balancing techniques that Ra gives. Good. So this is video 2. Thank you for watching again, and I will be right back with video 3 on the 7 densities and the journey from 3rd to 4th density that is currently happening for all of us. Good. Thank you very much. Also, if you have any questions or comments about these videos or anything that I've said, please just leave a comment and I will reply to you as quickly as possible. Good. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.